Welcome, it's Debrup on Air. I'm your host Debrup Laha, and this is The International Lens, where we dive into the real life stories of international students in the US. I have been in your shoes, earning both my bachelor's and master's degrees here, and now I'm working full time in the States. This podcast series is for you, whether you're already studying in the US or just planning to. Every week, I'll bring you conversations with students from all over the world, sharing their journeys, challenges, and triumphs. My mission? It's to give you the insights and inspirations you need as you carve your own path in the US. So, whether you're dreaming of studying here or already on your journey, this podcast is your ultimate guide. Tune in and let's make your American adventure one to remember. Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of the International Lens. Today, we'll be diving into the fascinating field of petroleum engineering. And we have with us Mr. Vishesh Bhadariya, who's a current PhD student at Oklahoma State University. From the science of oil recovery and then cutting edge drilling technologies and to the future of global energy, we'll be learning the insights of Vishesh from the lab as well as from the field. So, if you're curious to know where energy meets innovation, then this is the episode and you wouldn't want to miss it. Welcome, Vishesh, to this episode where we'll be discussing about petroleum engineering. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity, Mr. Debru. And I really wanted to thank your audience to listening this all the conversation which I'm going to tell about the petroleum engineering. But it's really nice to have you here. Then I started. Do you have any questions for me, like in the beginning?
Yeah, we are all excited to have you today in the episode, and so yeah, let's dive in directly. Uh, for the audience, tell us a little bit about your background and why you chose petroleum engineering at the first place.
So, so first of all, I'm currently doing my PhD in Oklahoma State University in petroleum engineering. And if you will see that petroleum engineering is very like interdisciplinary,
Mhm.
more like a fascinating, but blend with all the engineering aspects. So and the petrol deciding, pursuing the PhD program, or like in especially in the petroleum engineering because I was in academia earlier, so I was thinking to get more higher education. But when it comes to the petroleum engineering part, it traced back to me in my home state, which is like in India, Rajasthan. So earlier in 2004, there was a search for the oil and gas in one of the deserts, like a famous desert, Thar Desert, and especially in the district of Badmer and Jaisalmer, which is like a more of a desert area. But soon in 2009, Cairn Oil and gas, like that particular company discovered an oil field called Mangla. So from that point, we were like fascinated that okay, this oil and gas, especially the energy sector, can revolutionize. I think it's correct.
Yeah.
Revolutionize those oil and gas sector or energy sector in India. So I started beginning my study on this particular course, which was offered by one of the university in Rajasthan. So I pursue my bachelor degree from there. It's about like 4 years. I was learning more into how we can see the oil and gas pictures, like because there is a different area of expertise which is required, especially in oil and gas field. And one of them was like a reservoir, another was like drilling, and there was like a production site, so which we generally call as a upstream sector, because energy industry is divided in three different sectors, like upstream, midstream, and downstream.
Yeah.
So in upstream, we have a more like oil and gas and production from the subsurface. And in the midstream, like a more like pipeline distribution and transportation. And in the downstream, more we have a refineries. So we have a more area of midstream and downstream in India, but upstream it's need a lot of discoveries required in India particularly now. So that's how we decided, like I decided, okay, I need to pursue my career in petroleum engineering program. And then I moved to my bachelor to the master's, and from master's to the PhD program. So I completed my master's from Indian School of Mines,
Mhm.
Dhanbad. It's like a 2016, it's become IIT. So it's like a really, having good experience with a lot of faculty members over there, and we done some of the simulation projects. So it's quite a beneficial for me to doing my master's from over there. And then I pursue my academia, more like a teaching, and also one of the environmental company which I work. And then later on, I moved to the States for my PhD program.
Interesting. So thanks for walking us through your journey. So it's all started with a real life experience or what you heard back in the days that became into your fascination and you wanted to explore the field more. And that's how you got into this field. Interesting, because I mean, I wanted to know more about this field because not a lot of students study petroleum engineering at the first place, and it's not also widely offered. Like you mentioned, you did your master's at ISM Dhanbad, which is one of the premier institutes in India. But then, even for the other universities, not always petroleum engineering is offered. But like you mentioned, it has a lot to offer and it has a lot of scope in the upstream sector. So, definitely, I mean, it's a fascinating field, and I'm pretty sure you're doing great. So, we'll dive more into this field throughout the episode. But I'm curious to know. So you were mentioning that you were also in the academia sector in India, right? After
Yes.
your master's degree.
Yes.
So what made you choose to go for a PhD when you had a well-paid, like a settled job as a professor in a distinct university in India?
Yeah, actually, I worked like 5 years, and especially like teaching students and doing research, and also there was other activities like management activities which I need to perform over there. The thing is, you should, when you wanted to pursue your research, you should have a broader experience, especially in the experimental part and numerical modeling. And also there is a new trend for the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that is the stuff like I wanted to blend those one together to come up with my research idea so that I can pursue my career in that particular, energy sector. So I decided to pursue my PhD on behalf of, the current scenarios, which
Mhm.
is like around to us. And I think that is the best decision, after, working 5 years, I can take it. And I'm moving forward. I wanted to, blending all these, three things together in my research, and then wanted to do something better, especially for, in energy sector.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, in the current market or in the current world, you probably need to always further your education and keep learning because the world is moving at a very fast pace. So
Yes.
you explained pretty nicely why you decided to pursue the PhD, and I'm pretty sure this will be an inspiring talk or something inspiring for the students who will be listening to this episode if they're in double minds whether they want to do a PhD or just want to settle for a job because a lot is happening in the US right now and with the funding and everything.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we'll get into this more. So, quickly rewinding back to the days when you were pursuing your bachelor's and master's, at that time, did you pursue any internships in academia or in the industry?
Oh, yes, definitely. When I was in my second year, it's like a sophomore for
Yeah.
the United. So that time I got an opportunity from Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, and there was a refinery. It was like located in Vishakhapatnam.
Mhm.
So I did internship over there for a straight two months. And then later on, like in third year, I got an opportunity to work in a fertilizer company. And then later on in my bachelor, I worked with some of the Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited company for 6 months. It's a more like a midstream projects where they are laying the pipeline for the diesel and gasoline and
Mhm.
all those fluid. So they wanted to transfer from a particular place like called Kota to Jaipur. So it's like a 250-kilometer pipeline they wanted to distribute. So I was doing internship in one of their project leader. So it was a good experience over there to understanding, the midstream sector, and simultaneously HPCL was the one from the downstream sector, which actually, I wanted to learn that how they works, in the field, and especially, distribution of all these gasoline and diesel, and also refining part is the one. So I think more like a bachelor, I more delve into the midstream and downstream sector, but still I was lacking in some of the experience in an upstream sector. So we had a couple of visits in Badmer. It's they had a lot of facilities, like they have really nice technology in terms of for producing oil and gas, and especially they call as a special pump, like a electrical submersible pump, which can produce in a day 50,000 barrel per day. So we had a chance to see those facilities, and it's really fascinating over there. So that was more like in my bachelor. So it's
Mhm.
quite a good experience actually my university provided me. But when it comes to my master's, we had an internship in Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited, which we call ONGC.
OGC. Yep.
It's like a flagship, yeah, company in India. So we had like couple of months training over there, and also it's related to more, artificial lift system. So it's more producing oil and gas. So they had a different artificial lift system. One I told you about ESP, electrical submersible pump, but there are three or four different lifting systems are there, and SRP is the one of them. I think when you will move around in US, and also maybe in India, maybe in Gujarat, you will see some horse head pictures, like if you will see, it's moving like this one.
Mhm.
uh, so they call that one as a second road pumping system. So it's more for the producing oil and gas. So we had a quite good experience visiting the field, and yeah, and also some of the field excursion was there, and from my master institution, so that we see some of the completion design and work over rigs. So I was having good, quite fascinating experience from India, doing internship and everything over there. Mm.
Interesting. So you had a wide range of experience with academia. You also got a chance to work at Hindustan Petroleum, Bharat Petroleum, and also ONGC.
Yes.
And overall, I believe it was a very wide range, diverse experience as you got to see the work culture in different companies.
Yes.
So I guess this is also important for students that when they if irrespective of whether they want to pursue an academia or in the industry, it's always important to get some experience in the field to see how the real world is happening. Correct?
Yes, yes, definitely. Because academia is totally different than the industry,
Mhm.
where you learn your theoretical part, and also maybe you can implement a lot of things in academia and do all the experiments and everything. That type of thing is not there in the industry, but industry is more like challenging, where
Right.
you have to complete a certain project in a particular deadlines. So you have to be more focused over there rather than doing experiments with anything. So I think maybe a lot of people who is right now working, they can understand those one, but for who is upcoming, PhD or graduate students, I think they will be more like they need to understand that industry is having a lot more challenges to go on with that.
Yeah, I mean, in industry, you need to work with the clients and always deadlines. So it's a deadline driven thing, I should say, with respect to real life, always running after deadlines.
Yes.
So moving on, so now that you're a PhD student, I wanted to know how is your day-to-day like life like in the university in the lab, and what is your day-to-day work like as a PhD researcher in this field?
Oh, so Oklahoma State University is located in Oklahoma, and there's a place called Stillwater. So Stillwater is more like a small town, but we have all the facilities here, like all the facilities, everything is there what we wanted from the city. So here life is very peaceful. So, and I start with my day like a morning routine, and then having breakfast, and then 9 o'clock I need to reach my office. So even I'm a PhD student, I need to reach my office 9 o'clock, and during that time I see a lot of mails and everything. So replying everything, it's take at least an hour. So
Mhm.
it's like 9 to 10, and then I need to make a list, like a to-do list from 10 to 11, that what I need to do in my lab. Because if I won't make a to-do list, I will something left out, something from my research list for sure. So I think whoever is their masters or PhD, I think they have to make a to-do list if they wanted to complete everything on time. So 11, I started to go to my lab. So we had a quite fascinating instrument. So it's like a big instruments and some of the high-speed camera, which I need to operate it. So I think what I needed from the beginning when I left my job. So I think I'm fulfilling that dream, working in the lab. And especially we have something, a really good instrument, like we call that one as a true triaxial system. Most of the civil engineering students may know about that one. And there is a one instrument we are having, the high speed camera. High speed camera is like we have like a 250,000 FPS frame per second.
Mhm.
So I can take 250,000 pictures in a second.
Wow.
So we study more like a fracture mechanics. So we need to design our own, materials, and then we need to frack it or crack it. So those things are there in my daily routine, and and then I go for lunch like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and then I'll come back to the lab and then start doing my experiments. So everything I need to complete it at 5, or maybe approximately sometimes it takes 6 or maybe 6:30, but I don't want it to stay over there after that one. And then I go to the gym, and it's like a 1.5 hour workout. I come back and then prepare my dinner for the and breakfast and lunch for the morning too. So I think people should know that, okay, whoever is coming to the US, and you have a lot of workload, but all means you have to prepare everything, dishes and everything, before that one. And then I go out with my friends, and it's like a more like a weekday job for me. But I have a more time on Saturday and Sunday, which I plan for travel and going to, fun sites. And we have a lot of good places here, like more like a natural, lakes and, forest and trails. So yeah, this town is really peaceful and more attached to the nature. So I really feel more comfortable over here.
Cool. I mean, yeah, thank you for walking us through your daily routine, like what you start from the morning to the night, including preparing your meals for the next day, because this is important in the US that you need to do in advance. And you also mentioned about materials. So there is a lot of material science involved in your research as well, then, right?
Oh, yeah. So especially we have rocks, which we need to frack it or sometimes break it. So breaking is different and fracking is different. Fracking is more like from the fluid side,
Mhm.
and breaking is more like a mechanical testing. So these actually the materials which we call, these are like a rocks only. So in the subsurface we have a different kind of rocks. I think people know about mostly the geology people know about the sedimentary and some of the igneous and metamorphic rocks. So oil and gas generally found in the sedimentary rocks, so especially like shale, and sandstone, and then limestone. These are some of the rocks where these oil and gas we found. So we do some of the mechanical testing for those, and also sometimes we frack it in the lab, and sometimes we prepare some synthetic samples so we can control our experiments very well. So these are some of the things which we do. So it's more about the rocks, and we call sometimes those as a materials because we sometimes make them within the lab.
So, since you mentioned about this, I'm curious to know, do you see a lot of mechanical engineering students also who are pursuing their PhD in material in petroleum?
Yes, yes, because If you see, in the beginning, I said like a blending.
Yeah,
So blending is more engineering, like a civil, and then you have a mechanical engineering background, and then you have obviously petroleum engineering, and then there is a geology side. So, and sometimes even the microbiology is the
interesting.
one. Yeah, and also, there are like electronics people. So, and obviously, so all these blending engineering is there in the petroleum engineering side. So, there are certain area like a drilling, and so some of the mechanical engineering student they can pursue, PhD in petroleum engineering, but they can opt their research field as a drilling engineers.
Mm,
Some of the chemical engineering students also opt for the like a petroleum production engineering program, and also civil engineering. It's more like they can pursue some of the geomechanical stuff or geomechanics. So, which I am currently doing. My research area is more into the geomechanics side. And some of the geology student also get into, the geomechanics or geoscience or petrophysics. These are some of the certain areas are there which actually all these students of different engineering can pursue their PhD in this petroleum engineering, which we is more like a interdisciplinary area of research.
cool. Good to know that. And so, when you are performing your research, do you also follow any regulations for sustainable measures?
Oh, so the thing is, when you explore oil and gas, there is a contradictory in the sustainable nature,
Mm,
right? Maybe if we it's like a there is a like a food and nutrition studies are there, or maybe microbiological studies are there, maybe the area they can explore those sustainable measures. But I think there are certain research which is coming along with the petroleum engineering program, and also we are including those one in the petroleum engineering. That is, one is CO2 sequestration, and there is a hydrogen injection in those subsurface areas, and also the geothermal energy. So we don't work with the wind and wind and solar, but
mhm.
we our lab is also focused on the geothermal engineering and CO2 sequestration, because ultimately in the we are facing a lot of challenges, environmental challenges. So I think that is the one sustainable measure we can do, is to capture those CO2 and inject in the subsurface. So that is the one area of the research right now, and if companies can reduce their carbon credit footprint. And so that's the one area. Another one is hydrogen, which is really hard to deal with, but that is also come into the sustainable measure. And also geothermal engineering, which is right now is more, in the research side, and also a lot of companies you will see in the future in the geothermal area for sure.
Okay, yeah, thanks for walking us through that. Since we are coming towards the end, I had a few more quick questions for you. So, what would be your advice be for students who are coming to study petroleum engineering for their, let's say, master's or PhD, but from a different background, like you said, mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics? What would your suggestions be to them?
Yeah, I think for mechanical or civil or chemical engineering, I think their basic studies, what they are doing, I think they are fine with that one, but they have to take more courses here in the petroleum engineering, so that they can familiarize themselves related to the field, and what are the area which actually they didn't learn in their bachelor or master's program. So they need to keep a little more efforts than uh, the student which is coming from the background of bachelor or master's in petroleum engineering. So they have to do a lot of things, but there is a higher chances that they have a lot more job opportunities available in the market as compared to the petroleum engineering students.
Okay, and any special skills you suggest them to brush up before they start their program? Like any software skills or anything like that?
Yes, I think it's better to learn, some of the Python or MATLAB. I think MATLAB is the one which most of the engineering student uses, but I'm not sure that is available for free for everyone, and it's really costly to get the license. So I prefer to go for the Python programming, so student can learn those one and also work on some of the artificial intelligence and machine learning stuff, and get hand-on experience with some of the small projects, and that will really benefit for them to if they wanted to pursue research where oil and gas is blended with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. And Python and MATLAB stuff is like they wanted to do some of the modeling task, or there are some other advanced softwares which actually currently industry is also using. If they are already familiar with those software, and so I think that will be much more beneficial for them to start their career, and after their PhD also they will be get benefited with all these learning opportunities.
Makes sense. And since you mentioned about AI and ML, just wanted to know on a high level, what is the implications of AI and ML in your field? Like, how do you use those?
Oh, I think I mentioned a different area to you, drilling, reservoir, and production, and some of the well completion and stimulation. There are some, see, these areas are there, and all of these areas somehow interconnected with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. And also one sector is petrophysics, which like a more like a well logging. So the thing is, when you go to the industry, you have a millions of data, because you, if even if you are drilling, or even if you are producing, or even if you are fracking, at the horizontal wellbore, because we need to make at least like a 3,000 meter or 4,000 meter well. Sometimes these industries need to make it, so they have a millions of data with them, and without AI and ML, it's very difficult to analyze those data. So that's why each and every these area they require to do these machine learning stuff. So, and currently, if you are so I don't know about in the future, but if you are currently in the familiar with those skills, then there is a higher opportunity that you will get a really nice internship and also a job opportunity here in the US. So that's why I every time mention that students should learn about the machine learning and also numerical modeling. Modeling is the one also, because experimental part is good,
Mhm.
because when I to the conference, and when I realized it when I'm talking to some of the prominent people from the industry. So there was one company, the chairperson was there, and I was discussing it with him, and he said to me that you should work on, even if you are working on the experimental data, try to infuse your research with the industrial data, and try to work on modeling and the machine learning stuff if you wanted to be more successful in the industry. So it's like a straightforward, conversation of the 10 minutes, and I think that changed my perspective even about myself, that what I wanted to pursue in the future.
Right. And how is the job market like for people who are studying petroleum engineering? Is there like a demand and supply problem, or are there enough jobs for students?
I think you know uh, in the beginning it's struggling,
Mm-hmm.
and but once you had your job with you, and like a couple of year experience, it's quite a smooth journey. But in the beginning, and obviously with every these sector we see, in the beginning it's really struggling. So make sure you have all the students which is coming for pursuing masters and PhD program, they should have a patience, and they should have a strategies to overcome those challenges, which will be, you will see ahead in their journey for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is always struggling for entry level engineers and like students who are coming with no experience, because companies often tend to like invest or tend to like hire people who are coming with some years of experience, because that
Mhm.
helps them as well. So I hear what you're saying, but I think so students should definitely focus on improving their skills, right? Because that is something which is within their control.
Yes, yes, definitely. And earlier, if you have experience from the home country,
Mhm.
I think be much more beneficial because sometimes companies they want more, relevant experience, and it's easy for them to hire those graduate students. So I think we the previous experience also works really well.
Okay, cool. And a couple of last two quick questions. One is, how are the courses at Oklahoma State University? Like, can you walk us through quickly couple of courses or some electives which you found very useful?
Oh yes, definitely. As you see, our PhD Petroleum Engineering program in Oklahoma State, they are really focused on the petroleum engineering. So they provide us some of the advanced courses. So back in my bachelor and masters, whatever I have learned, it's like a more advanced version of them, more hand-on experience, and the softwares which we are learning here is really nice. And some of the hand-on experience, which like more industrial data is there, and then we need to work on some of the software. So it's really, overall learning curve is like improving here.
Mhm.
And some of the elective courses is like, I think it's really flexible here for taking the elective courses. Once you're done with your core courses, you can take elective courses in some other engineering program also.
Okay.
So one of the course which I took is for the same like artificial intelligence and machine learning, and then later on there are some statistical courses are there which student can take it, and some of the courses from the mechanical or maybe civil or chemical engineering background, if you wanted to be more interested, so it's more like a flexible. Also some of the students also take management courses.
Interesting. Okay.
Very flexible here.
So it's a pretty flexible program from what I can understand. Like you can take courses from pretty much every field to get an overall experience of how engineering in the real world industry is like.
Yes, definitely.
Cool. And are you planning to attend any conferences in the near future, or did you attend so far any of the
Oh, yeah.
conferences?
Yeah, I really like about the thing here is conference, which like I went to three conferences, and actually like a four conferences. It's like three conferences where I present, and one conference is just like attending. So we have a biggest conference in back in 2022. Yeah, we call as a ATC SP Society of Petroleum Engineering,
Mhm.
and that was the biggest one for me, where I see a lot of industrial people over there, and some of the famous personalities from the petroleum engineering field, they come over there and you can talk to them. So that was the first, back in India, I was thinking about them. Oh, these are the biggest personality I wanted to meet, and that is like a dream come true here in the Houston. So that was the biggest one. And then later on, my more expertise in rock mechanics and geomechanics. So I attended American Rock Mechanics Association conference. So we call that one as a ARMA. And so I went to Atlanta, and then in 2023 and 2024 in Colorado, and 2025 this year, like 15 days back into New Mexico. So every time I need to present my conference paper over there. So I need to write, and then it's peer review, and then we need to present over there. So it's really nice opportunity where you can present it your research. People will ask you questions, and if they are interested, they will come to you. And also you can go to different people which you already know, or some of the personalities which you really like the research. You can talk to them, get some idea. And also one interesting things which I like is there is some research competitions are there, and
Mhm.
also some prizes. So students can participate and have those, achievements over there in your CV. It's really help you to, grow. And also, when you are talking to the companies, you can present your achievements over there. So that's really nice, good experience and conferences.
Absolutely. I mean, networking is the key in the US. Like, if you need to go up the ladder, you need to keep networking and just build more connections. So, there's a well rounded, like a summarized explanation you gave about how networking helps and how you can present your papers and get people interested and also participate in engineering challenges and competitions. So, helps definitely to boost your resume.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Cool. So, any concluding comments for the incoming class of this year before we end this episode?
Yeah, definitely. Because you see, you are coming from the different background, and if you wanted to pursue your PhD in, not in petroleum engineering, if it's a certain, research area which you wanted to pursue, the thing is, you come prepared more strategically. You come and have patience, and also, prepare yourself. You have a long life in the US. Be prepared for that one, and do not panic if something went wrong. Something can happen. So, and also believe in yourself, and particularly more connected to the people, because you will see a less people here, especially in the town.
Mhm.
But go check, say hi to them, say, how are you doing? These are the simple gesture you can make it to the people. And I think you will make a more connections with them. And ultimately, when you wanted to go for your internship or some of the job opportunities, definitely making connections will help you, to retain in the United States. And also you wanted to pursue your career in that particular area, you need guidance for sure. And it will definitely come to the people once you will meet them and talk about, what skills you have. And then later on, definitely they will help you out reaching up to your goal.
Absolutely. I mean, the small gestures definitely help us go in a long way. Like small gestures, like you mentioned, just ask how you're doing, or just a simple greeting can definitely pave the way for a longer path in the US because everybody is struggling at the same time. Everybody wants to help each other. So the first time you need to take the first step to get that help. Otherwise, nobody will come on their own to help you unless you go and ask.
Yes, yes, yes. And also one thing is take care of yourself. Especially like go out, do gym, exercise, do yoga, and you will be more disciplined. You will have a more achievements in your life.
Absolutely. I think staying fit is also important. Health is wealth, as they say.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely true.
Great, Vishesh. Thank you very much for this fascinating episode. It was lovely speaking with you, learning a little bit about petroleum engineering. I am myself going to study about the upstream and the downstream sides now, and just to see how it is like. And I will myself reach out to you if I have any questions about the technical aspect. And hopefully, the students who will be watching this episode will also have lots of questions, and they'll be reaching out to you via LinkedIn if they have any questions or want to learn more about the field.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I will really like to help because I was earlier faculty, so I think I really help my students, and I will do the same with them. Mhm.
Great. Thank you again for your time today.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. Got questions or suggestions? Drop me an email at daybrouponair@gmail.com. Catch you in the next episode. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.